Have you heard? It's truck news.
No! God, no!
The Truck Show. We're gonna show you what we know. We're gonna answer what the truck. 'Cause truck rhymes with The Truck Show. We have the lifted, we have the lowered, and everything in between. We'll talk about trucks that run on diesel, electricity, and on gasoline. The Truck Show, the Truck Show, the Truck Show. Oh, oh.
It's The Truck Show with your host, Holman.
The Truck Show podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors. AMSOIL launched the industry's first synthetic motor oil back in 1972, and AMSOIL continues to innovate with a wide selection of synthetics that are formulated, blended, and packaged right here in the United States. These specialized lubricants are engineered for what you drive and how you drive. AMSOIL's Shop by Vehicle tool offers package size recommendations to maximize savings and includes AMSOIL's Ultimate Oil Change Kits. AMSOIL offers the protection you demand and the performance you deserve. Get yours today at AMSOIL.com. The perfect complement to your truck is a Kershaw knife. All Kershaw knives come with a limited lifetime warranty, and repair parts are readily available through the website. Kershaw knives include lifetime sharpening, and the lineup has everything from EDC knives that can be used and abused for under $50 all the way up to high-end collectibles. Thanks to our generous partnership with Kershaw Knives, Truck Show podcast listeners can get 40% off MSRP and free shipping over $50 by using the code 2TSP2025. It can be used more than once and even includes automatics. Visit kershaw.kaiusa.com today. UAM Pistons is one of the few companies that's been in business for over 100 years. Founded in 1922, UEM continues on today, owned and run by the fourth generation of the family that founded them. We especially like the company's dual-alloy line of diesel pistons, which are cast and machined in-house to maintain the highest level of quality and consistency. Dual-alloy pistons are available for most popular diesel light and medium-duty trucks, and you can find your diesel replacement pistons today at uempistons.com. When it comes to amazing vehicle-based adventure content, how-tos, and great storytelling, only one brand is doing it right in the print magazine space, and that's OVR, Outdoor Vehicle Recreation. OVR is about getting out there in our vehicles to explore and discover the world around us. Get complimentary access for a year to the digital library or a discount on your print subscription today at ovrmag.com. Use the promotional code at Truck Show Podcast. The Truck Show Podcast survives off of sponsorships and your reviews, so please help me to keep it free by supporting our sponsors and leaving reviews and comments on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Have you heard?
No, and I don't care.
It's the news. Of course you care. And today, Holman ordered a new vehicle. So I wonder if it sounds like this or if it's going to sound like this. I'll let you know maybe in the next episode. All right, getting on with the world's news, Ford just launched a brand new Bronco in China. And it's sort of a mix of the Bronco Sport in terms of styling and the big Bronco that we have here. But as of now, it's exclusively for the Chinese market. And it's kind of interesting. They're going to have EV or range extending, but the size is what got me. It looks like a bigger Bronco Sport, but it's actually almost as big as our Bronco and even bigger in some measurements. So it measures in at 77 inches wide and 197 inches long. That compares to the Bronco Sport, which is 74.3 inches wide and 172.7 inches long. And our full-size Bronco, or big Bronco, I guess as people refer to it today, is 75.9 inches. So what is that? 1.1 inches narrower and 189 inches long compared to that 197. That is as big as some of the three-row SUVs out there. Will it make it to America? I'm not sure. The EV Bronco comes in at 5,800 pounds, or the extended range version is 5,535, whereas our Bronco Sport is 3,500 pounds, and the Bronco Raptor is 4,945 pounds. So the standard EV version is 271 horsepower and gets about 404 miles of range on China's cycle. And the extended range is a 1.5-liter plug-in hybrid. It has 241 horsepower and gives about 137 miles of EV range. And that's pretty good considering most plug-in hybrids in America, the EV range is usually in the range of 20 to 35 miles, something like that, especially with the SUVs. Anyway, kind of a interesting take on Bronco. And I wonder if a bigger looking Bronco Sport is really what people are looking for, if that would appeal to those of us here in the U.S. But it's not for our market, and no indication at this point that it's coming here, so probably a moot point. So we have an interesting situation with Nissan and Honda, and because of the tariffs from the Trump administration, Nissan is in a pretty good position with excess capacity, and Honda is looking for a more robust body-on-frame pickup. So there have been some surmising from Nikkei Asia, which has no sources, but it says that Nissan's Canton, Mississippi factory could potentially build Honda-branded pickup trucks alongside the Frontier. Whether that means that the next generation Ridgeline is Frontier-based and body-on-frame, or whether Honda has a different design that'll be made in the same plant, remains to be seen. But with the Titan ending production back in 2024, there is excess capacity. So this is something that can benefit both. Even if they don't get to a full-blown merger, you might be able to see a more robust Honda pickup truck in the U.S. Would you like that? truckshowpodcast@gmail.com. All right, so for you Ram fans out there, this is pretty cool news. More details are emerging on the Ram Dakota. So a lot of us, including myself, were thinking that the little Brazilian Ram Rampage, which is a Maverick fighter, would be the entry-level Ram pickup truck in the United States. But apparently, it sounds like no, there's going to be a body-on-frame Dakota, which is huge. Now, the site Mopar Insider says the new pickup will be built at Belvidere Assembly Plant in Illinois in 2027, and that was one of the details that was kind of revealed when Stellantis and the UAW had their labor agreement back in 2023. So it sounds like it'll be a 28 model, but we don't have pricing yet. Kinesis has been talking quite a bit about the $40,000 price point and how hard it is to get a full-size truck under there. So my guess is somewhere in the mid to high 30s as a starting point. And if Ram came to market with a Ram Dakota body on frame, are you interested? So here's my thought. Why not take the Gladiator platform, and for those people who might not necessarily be Jeep people, put a traditional truck body on it where it doesn't have the removable roof and doors and all the Jeepy things, and now you have a badass little solid axle pickup truck. Or could you put a different front clip on the frame and put A-arms on it? Because the rear suspension is a lot of Ram 1500 parts in the back. Could you put a downscaled Ram 1500 front suspension on there? Maybe. One reason that makes me think it won't be related to the Gladiators. Gladiators built in Toledo, Ohio, and this will be built at Belvidere in Illinois. So they won't be sharing a production line. So it could be a completely different chassis. So it'll be interesting to see. But good news for all you truck fans out there, the new midsize Ram will in fact be body on frame. Well, according to rumors. And here's one I've been wanting to talk about. And we haven't because I was gone. And so I'm going to get Mike Rice back in here. We'll have a discussion about it. But the Slate pickup, and everybody was like, oh, $20,000 truck. But now that the EV tax credit got repealed, it's more like a high 20s pickup truck, and it comes with nothing. I mean, I think you even have to buy cup holders and a screen and all that kind of stuff. Is that a deal breaker for most customers that were looking at this really affordable pickup truck? There's other things that are kind of worth talking about, so we'll save that for an upcoming episode. But start thinking about that because I'm curious what your take is on Slate, especially if you don't have the EV incentive, which is $7,500. Does that change the business economics of you wanting one of those in your driveway? And what happens when you start adding the options? Is it a $38,000 cheap pickup truck? Not so cheap anymore, is it? So more to come on Slate. All right, all of you Tennessee teenagers out there, I want you to listen to this and listen really good. Last year in your state, they legally defined bullying and cyberbullying and made them Class A misdemeanors. And this year they add some more teeth to the consequences of bullying or cyberbullying. As of July 1st, any minor who's found guilty in a juvenile court will have their license pulled for 1 year. And first-time offenders can apply for restricted license that can be used to travel only to and from essential functions like work, court, school, etc. But if you get busted again, no leniency. Do enough kids care about driving at 16 and 17 in Tennessee where this will make an impact? I don't know. I feel like kids these days are back to caring about driving, but it seemed like for a while there, a lot of the young people weren't. So what is going on out there? Do kids care? And will this prevent kids from bullying each other? So according to the Sports Business Journal, Ram is exploring the idea of doing a reality TV show to give aspiring race car drivers a chance to drive one of their new NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series trucks that were recently announced. And it sounds like it might even involve UFC President Dana White, who's already voiced support and also has recently collaborated with Ram. And here's another name to keep your eye on, Craig Pelagian. And why does that sound familiar? Well, he's the president and CEO of Pilgrim Films and Television, and he is known for creating The Ultimate Fighter, American Chopper, and of course our beloved Dirty Job series for Discovery. And rumor has it he may also be on board. I don't know about you, but I think it's a pretty cool idea. And I've seen some racing reality TV shows before, like Sony did it with their PlayStation and Gran Turismo, and there's been a few other ones, but I'm all for it. So I think it'd be pretty cool to get to know the people who might be driving the truck and see who earns their chance in it. And I think it also would bring new fans to the series. If Ram's been out, you don't necessarily have a fan base ready to go. So if you pregame for a year before you enter the series and people are now cheering for your driver because they got to know him through a TV show, that might help the overall business case. So interesting concept. I hope it happens. So a few weeks back, we talked about an article on The Drive that was basically saying how V8s are no longer America's truck engine anymore. And I think as a clapback, our friend Andre over at TFL Truck recently did a video in a series, and he went and dug through V8 pickup truck data. And if you go to tfltruck.com, he breaks it down for the past, I think about 5 or 6 years on the percentage of share of each of the engines for GM, Ford, and Ram, and then they have a video about them discussing it. And so I'm not going to say what their outcome is. Go over to TFL, read the story. Although I will say they said they predicted that the 5.7 liter V8 will compose 10% of all Ram 1500 sales in 2026. I think they're low. Anyway, love Andre. Great article. Go check it out. All right, so there's a story over on thedrive.com, which is pretty interesting. It caught my eye because when I travel, I rent with Hertz. And apparently, Hertz is installing AI scanners that scan the cars that come in and start charging people. There's a guy by the name of Adam Foley who was a renter. And Adam posted on his LinkedIn this story about how he rented a car from Hertz over the weekend. He says he picked up the car, exited the facility as normal, and the cameras took their 360-degree picture of the car. He says 2 hours later, he received a notification that damages were found. One small ding on the roof, but he says it could be dirt or anything else that could throw off camera, and a small artifact on the hood. Nothing anybody would reasonably consider damages in his word. He said the automated message said he owed $350, $80 for each dent, and $190 in processing and administration fees. But if he paid today, it would only be $125. He says the fee is literally the price of the entire 4-day rental minus $5. What? So he said to protest the fee, it's an AI chat experience. You can't get to a human, and you're only given an explanation for why you still owe $190. Sounds like a cash grab to me, and I may have to change rental car companies if Hertz doesn't fix this. What a joke. AI is really interesting in a lot of ways, but the opportunity for AI to screw you in daily life sounds like a lot more possible than it helping you. I'm all for curing cancer and all that kind of stuff, but really? You're just going to do a cash grab when I rent a car from you now? Freaking AI. All right, you Rivian owners out there. Rivian has announced that the 2026 R1T and R1S quad motor version has made some major changes after the first generation owners were going through tires in under 6,000 miles. They have changed the way that the Rivian works and conserves. So if you're familiar with the Rivian, it's 4-motor on the high-end model. Conserve makes it front-wheel drive, and then the rears are just along for the ride. And that allows you to basically be more economical with the power that you have left. Well, it sounds like the first generation didn't use Rivian's motor. They used water-cooled motors from Bosch. And there was also 17 ECUs, which limited the amount of fine tuning that they could do. So basically what happened with the first generation R1T and R1S is that the rear motors were completely shut down by declutching when they put into reserve. And then that basically made this really heavy vehicle front wheel drive. And I remember driving in conserve mode, you could hear the front tires going, as you would pull away from a light. Well, the second generation uses Rivian's new electrical architecture, which is that zonal design we've talked about before. And there's only 7 ECUs now. And then they have their own oil-cooled, not water-cooled, Ascent motors. And it allows them to fine-tune. So the way conserve mode works now is it's kind of like a automatic all-wheel drive, either pickup truck or a SUV. I think of more of an SUV than pickup. It goes to front-wheel drive versus being in rear-wheel drive. Anyway, it doesn't just turn off the rear motors and declutch them, but now they have some connection below highway speeds when there's not any torque needed. And if you have a situation where you need more torque, like taking off, towing, passing, all those things, the rear motors will clutch back in just like the rear wheels on an all-wheel drive SUV in like automatic mode. And then that spreads that load to all 4 corners and takes the heavy lifting off the front tires. So if you stayed away from the Rivian because you heard about it eating tires every 6,000 miles, now might be your chance to get back in. Quarter 2 2025 full-size truck sales are in, and it looks like full-size trucks are coming back strong. And if you look at it just for the quarter, GM trucks combined are up 8.2%, the Ford F-Series up 11.5%, Chevy Silverado up 5.5%, Ram 5.9%, GMC Sierra 13%, Toyota Tundra down 12.1%. I wonder if that has to do with the news of some of the iForce Max engine recalls. GMC Hummer EV up 53.9%, Nissan Titan down 91%, but of course no longer in production. Now, if you go to year to date, the sales crown right now goes to GM trucks combined at 453,000 to Ford's F-Series 412,000. But if you break it by brand, Chevy with the Silverado 284,000, Ram trucks 174, GMC Sierra 169, Toyota Tundra just under 75,000, Hummer EV 7,900, Nissan Titan 1,900. So anyway, looks like people are enjoying those lower gas prices and picking up full-size trucks again, the way God intended. And the last bit of news for this edition of Have You Heard? Let's hit recalls.
Check engine light just went on. Noise under the hood takes like a bomb. Recall covers metal, glass, leather, and plastic. Door handle pulled off in my hand. Just fantastic.
All right, this week we've got NHTSA receiving reports of post-recall failures in the 2013 to 2018 Ram trucks. And these are the ones that had an issue with rolling away. And now people who had the repair say they're still happening. So this could impact up to 1.18 million Ram trucks between model year 2013 and 2018. And of course, these were subject to previous recalls for their brake transmission shift interlock. And back in 2017, the recall number 17V-821 covered these trucks when it was a solenoid issue that prevented a locking pin in the column shifter from properly engaging. And apparently the new investigation comes after 14 new complaints that the Rams fixed did not remedy the problem. So there's no information on a fix yet, but I'm sure that if you're a Ram owner with that generation of truck and a column shifter, you will be notified in the mail soon. And that'll do it for this episode of the Truck Show Podcast. Have you heard? And don't forget to join us on social at Truck Show Podcast, at Sean P. Holman, or to send us an email, truckshowpodcast@gmail.com, or of course the 5-star hotline 657-205-6105. And please support the show by supporting our great sponsors, AMSOIL, Kershaw Knives, UEM Pistons, and OVR Magazine. Until next time, where we do it again.
The Truck Show Podcast is a production of Truck Famous LLC. This podcast was created by Sean Holman and Jay Tillis, hosted by Sean Holman, and uses production elements by DJ Omar Khan and Jay Tillis. If you like what you've heard, please open your Apple Podcast or Spotify app and leave us a 5-star review. And if you're a fan, there's no better way to support the show than by sharing it and patronizing our sponsors. Some vehicles may have been harmed during the making of this podcast.